Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is KJ4YZI with HamRadioConcepts. We're going to do this podcast poolside for a minute with my son, Paxton. Say hello, Paxton.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
This is my son, Paxton, and how old are you, Paxton?
22 years old.
I know, 22. And I got to keep content for you guys, so we're just going to pull this out of you-know-what, right out of my you-know-what. So, first of all, I want to say that it was a trip in the Keys, a lot of work I got done down there, and it boils down to hanging out with family right now. And Paxton, how's the pool? We're poolside, right? How's the pool?
Pool's amazing.
Yeah. So Paxton, he busts his butt, doing lawn service and stuff. He's a spitting image of me. And he just, works his butt off. So what would I talk about today? What can I pull out? Paxton, did you know I was doing a podcast?
No.
What did I just tell you?
We're going to do a podcast.
Exactly. So let's ask a newbie, folks. My voice is hoarse from talking and hanging out. I'll keep this one short. So, Paxton, all the years that we've grown up and stuff. What was I always playing with the YouTube and the radio stuff? What did it mean to you? Listen, there's nothing scripted, and I just told him, I said, you know what, you want to be on a podcast? He's like, yeah. Tell them, Paxton, you have thousands of listeners listening. What do you think about what I've been doing over the years?
Well, you know what? Growing up, it was always about ham radios, and I always heard the call sign when I was younger, KJ4YZI.
Boom.
Stuck in my head. And I kind of wanted to get into it, and all the call signs and everything. It's been a work of many years for my dad, Eric.
But let's listen. We have real people listening. So what does this mean for us sitting? We're in the pool right now. We both have an e-cig in our hand. What does this mean for a podcast? Like what? I have an audience. I have people that listen, and you saw me playing on radios, and you're always like, "Oh, they sent you that." Oh, cool. You talked that? Like, what does it mean, honestly? Speak your heart, bro.
For my dad that's came a long ways doing this, it means a lot. And I really care for the love that he has for ham radio and the whole ham radio.
But I'm gonna cut you off, though. What do I do in ham radio? Let's see if you've paid attention over the years. What does it mean to you? What am I doing this? Forget the YouTube, forget the podcast. What do I do when I'm talking on ham radio? Why is ham radio important?
Because
there's no wrong answer.
Because anything goes down and all ends and all when everything meets, anything goes down. The last resort you can go to is ham radio.
Okay, that is what I see. You see, folks, that is what I wanted to hear. See, he gets it. When we do this, it is a hobby. It is a service. When everything else is gone, ham radio is there. But do I play with ham radio? Do I have fun with it?
You enjoy it.
Exactly, it's a hobby. See. That's my thing. I someone that is, he's watched me when he was growing up, play with ham radios, and it evidently is stuck in his mind because he just said the answer. Hey, yes, it is a service. When everything goes down, but you know what, Paxton, this ham radio stuff has blossomed into me just after a couple drinks, sitting out here with you, my son, doing we're in the pool, we're poolside, doing podcasts, and I have an audience now. What you don't realize is I have an audience, and people like just listening to me, and I'm nobody, right? Would you tell them I'm just another person? Do I act like I'm somebody better than anybody else?
No,
I'm just me. And it's funny because I like that I put him on the spot, and he totally just gets it, So, Pax, let me tell you a bit about this because my voice is hoarse. But so I've done podcasts every day, mobile. I'm driving. I drive a lot.
Yep.
And it's just because people are listening, and if somebody can learn something from this, it means a lot to me. Me and Paxton had a discussion tonight about, I would try to teach somebody in school and I would get bullied and picked on. But you know what? I just had good intentions. I never did tell Paxton, hey, you know what? You need to be a ham radio operator. You need to do this. But he just said the magic sentence here. He understands why I do it. Paxton, I'm going to ask you right here live. What do you think, when I do this, and your mom and my wife, your mom, when I do this, what do you see in me doing this? Why do I do this? Do I do this for because I'm somebody? Well, tell me right now, why do I do this podcast and YouTube thing? What does it mean to me? When you look at me, oh, you're a YouTuber. What is that? What do you see in me? I want to know right now.
I think it's actually something that you grew up into. It's kind of like grown on you from ham radio going on to YouTube.
But think about this. There's thousands of people listening, and what does that mean to me?
It means a lot because you came a long ways.
Why? Tell me. Tell them.
Because I don't know. I really can't explain that.
So, Paxton, I'll tell you. There's something in my life that makes me feel like there's people listening to this right now. I'm going to post this, and there's people listening. There's people that watch my YouTube videos. Somebody is learning. Somebody is educating their kids. Somebody is getting closer to their kids. I'll tell you a story, guys. I was in Orlando Hamcation a couple of years ago. And I'm going to tell you a story. I might have said this on YouTube before. Excuse my voice for being hoarse because we've just been out here just hanging out. So there was this guy, and I know who this guy is. I forget his name, but I'll never forget his face. He lives in Tampa, right? And I don't know if I ever told you, Paxton, but he lives in Tampa. And when he came to my booth in Orlando, and he said, he had like a long sleeve on, he had tattoos, and this guy was walking around, and he said, listen, Eric, listen to this, Paxton. He said, Eric, I want to meet you. I was like, hey, I don't judge anybody. I said, hey, glad to meet you. He said, I don't know how I stumbled upon your videos. I don't know how I don't know how I found you. YouTube put it on the side, and I don't know why you came out, but you had a good way of talking, and you were easy to listen to. So I started listening. And you know what? He said, fast forward. I got my ham radio license, and Paxton, listen to this. Now he's connected with his children. He had no idea what ham radio was. He is now a leader in one of the ham radio or Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts on the air. And he says, you know what? I teach these kids all across the country about ham radio and just talking to other people across radio. And he said, Eric, if it wasn't for you and me stumbling upon my video, I would have never connected with my kids, and I would have never connected with other kids. He said, so I thank you for what you've done for me. And now I am just this huge ham radio operator, and I just stumbled upon your video. So that meant a lot to me. I'll never forget that guy. And, you can't judge somebody by what they, he has tattoos. And I didn't care. But he showed up almost like thinking, Paxton, I'm going to tell you right now, showed up thinking like, oh, this guy's not going to like me. What do you think about what I just said? And how do you feel about that, Paxton? Like, I changed somebody's life, and
I feel like
this is more than just a YouTube thing. This is more than just I'm not being anybody special. What do you think about what I just said and what I do?
I feel like you have put a big impact on not only your family's life, but probably a bunch of other people's, because it's something big that you're doing. It's not just something you're doing that's going to be null and void to society. It's actually something that's taken an impact on not only yourself but other people's as well.
Yeah, if I could change somebody's life doing this YouTube thing and this podcast thing. We're sitting in the pool, right?
Yeah.
Here's a fist bump. Let's get a fist bump. Boom. So we're in the pool, and I said, hey, I haven't made a podcast, but you guys have listened. We're at 9 minutes and 24 seconds, and the cool thing about this audience, Paxton, is that I can do a podcast poolside or mobile or at home, but these people all across the world wherever listen, and that's what it's about. I'm not like somebody special. I'm just me. And me and my son, I've tried to teach him stuff and say, hey, he's seen me work my butt off and this and that. He works, let me tell you what, Paxton right here works harder than I can now. I mean, he will out-circle me. He will outwork me. I can't do it anymore. I'm 38. How old are you? 22.
22 years old.
22. And this man will work hard. He's got a wife and her kid, and he does a lot. And I'm not trying to push ham radio on him. I just feel that this is a moment for me to be in the pool, just to hang out with him and be like, hey, you want to be on a podcast? He's like, yeah. And what did you think so far?
I think it's actually pretty cool.
There's people listening that are just normal human beings, and I'm glad, Paxton, that you're a part of this podcast. I'm going to, for those listening, you guys listening, I'm going to do this to my wife one day. I'm going to be like, your mom.
Yeah.
I say the wife. People, Paxton, people.
The wife.
Yeah. What is my wife to me, Paxton? Tell them.
Everything.
And that's it. That's not the wife. Your mom. You were like what, 5? I was, carrying you, and man, Paxton's come a long way. He's got a lot to learn. He's got a lot to learn. He does, and it's not easy. But you know what? The fact that there's people that are gonna listen to this night and tomorrow, and they're gonna be like, "That's so cool! You're hanging out with your son poolside. We're in the pool. That's
poolside. KJ4YZ.
You see? So Paxton, I want you to know something. These people are listening and are gonna listen. That's what makes it special to me with this podcast, is because they're just other people. And I'm not trying to do this weird YouTube thing like, oh, I'm a superstar. Like, no.
Yeah.
I'm just me. And the fact that, I have my son here talking with me, that's cool. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And by the way, a sneak peek. I know my voice is hoarse. We've been hanging out here partying. I got the boat registered today. Right, Paxton? I got the boat legal.
Oh, yeah.
They've seen it on YouTube. The boat is legal. So we're gonna start, as I said, like 3 episodes ago. Me and Michelle, I need to start, working. I work all the time, but I need to start spending more time with my wife, Paxton's mom, because she takes care of me. She sits home. She does this, but you know what? She needs to have fun too. And so I go out today, and I get my boat registered. And the first thing she says is, why'd you do that? Because you need to order a rim and tire for your truck. You're right. The first thing in my mind was to, spend time with my wife, because I work so much. I don't do that. But at the same time, you know what? I'm going to get the rim and tire on my vehicle, and Paxton, you come with us on the boat?
Heck yeah.
Actually, me and Paxton are going on the boat first, because what would your mom say if that thing accidentally had a hiccup or broke up?
Test it out.
No, what would she do if it broke down and you and me were on there?
Oh, she'd lose it.
Yeah, what would you and me do?
We'd probably be laughing.
Exactly. What he means is we're going to handle it, right?
Yes,
yeah, so we're going to go out. Next weekend, I think, me and Paxton are going out, and we're going to handle that. But you know what? It's time that, like I told you before, we're going to sell the RV. I'm probably going to lose my butt on it, but you know what? I need to spend more time with Michelle, because she is my number one. So we got a boat here, and what do you think of the boat, Paxton?
I think it's amazing. 750 horsepower.
No, it's 750 horsepower. It's 270 horsepower, guy.
Oh.
But it starts right up and runs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds good. So we're going to do this, and I get to spend more time with Paxton and, go out. You know what? I've never fished with my son, Paxton. I call him my son. Yes, he is my son. I call him my son. I don't have my kids of my own, but they're Michelle's kids. But I remember the day that I walked in and I said to Michelle, "This is my son." And
we were 5 years old.
You were 5. Austin was 7.
Yeah, we were making milkshakes, chocolate chip and banana milkshakes.
You remember those milkshakes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were making milkshakes, banana milkshakes, and he's like, "What do you want to do again? What do you want to do now, Eric?"
And Mr. Potato Head on the 2005 laptop computer.
You see, he remembers. Yeah. So I never took him fishing, and I want to take him fishing because I don't have my kids of my own, but this is my son. Him and Austin, and we're gonna go fishing, and we're gonna do things that we never did when he was growing up, because it was hard. I was broke. Me and Michelle, we were broke, but they were never homeless. They were, what was it? Sperry's?
Oh yeah, Sperry's.
Yeah. And what happened at Sperry? How much were they? Like $120?
Oh, what happened to Sperry's?
Yeah, tell him.
I went to a party. One got lost in the swamp. wherever it was.
Yeah.
I was
But you had to have that spray, didn't you?
yes, sir. It was a fun night, though.
It was a fun night, but he lost a $120 shoe, and you know what? The fact that he had that and I didn't while I was growing up makes it the world. So I won't bore you guys anymore. I want to, Paxton, I'm going to do this to you right now, and everybody's going to listen. Hold on, honey. Michelle's coming out. Paxton, I want you to tell anybody that's going to listen to this podcast, and this is whatever you want to say. There's no wrong answer, no right. I want you to tell them whatever you want to say about anything you want. Go.
I hope everyone has a great night tonight, and I got one thing. KJ4YZI, over and out. Love you all. Bye.
Now I'm gonna tell you that was not.
Not what you're looking for?
That's not. Listen, I'm going to tell you again. There's no wrong answer. I want you to tell them again what you think about me poolside with you after a couple of drinks, doing a podcast, and think about that.
Talk about his life too.
Think about that. Just give them 30 seconds and tell anybody what you think about you being with me on a podcast. And there's no wrong answer. How do you feel about what you just experienced? Go.
I feel like it was a different kind of thing to experience. I haven't really been on any YouTubes or podcasts, but I feel like that it was overall a well conversation needed.
Why?
And
why?
Because yes.
No, don't tell.
Because there's people actually listening to this, and us bonding together is actually a really nice thing. Father and son time. And I've really experienced something I will never forget.
Exactly. So I see. That's why I said take two. So everybody wants you to, you've had some interesting podcasts the last 3 days, but now it becomes this podcast and me and my son in the pool after a couple drinks, just hanging out and bonding. So I hope.
My wife wants to say something.
Michelle, you know what?
Stay tuned.
Oh, hold on. Go ahead, Michelle. Listen, I want you to speak to her. Go ahead. Hold on, guys. Here you go.
Oh, I am. Stay tuned for the Michelle and Eric Hofer podcast. Goodbye.
Now, what did you remember, Paxton? What did I tell everybody? I'm gonna get Michelle on this, right? But
yep.
You know what? She goes
She
inside.
doesn't even know.
Exactly. She's not gonna know. See, she talks a big game. But I'm gonna one day just turn the phone on and be like, you're on a podcast. Nothing scripted here. I didn't tell Paxton who's on a podcast, and it's just a bonding moment. So I appreciate this, and tomorrow you will get a more structured podcast, right, Paxton?
Yep.
Something where I'm a little more coherent, coherent. Coherent. But listen.
I have to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
Trust me, during our podcast, I'm not going to hear shh, honey, shh. Yeah.
And we talked about Michelle on this podcast. You guys get it.
Yeah.
More time for Michelle, more time for podcasts, more time for Paxton, less time for me. 7-3, everybody. We're going to wrap this up. I hope I don't regret this in the morning, but I'm not going to because I'm coherent enough to understand how me and Paxton, give me a hug, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Me and Paxton were bonding, right? And you know what, Paxton? These people on the podcast, this is different than YouTube because they're just other people and they know. So they give me a break. They
understand.
Yeah, they give me a break and they're like, you know what? You're just you. And that's me. I'm just me. You ever heard me, Paxton, tell anybody, oh, I'm a celebrity on YouTube? You ever heard that?
No.
Yeah, well, what do I say? I'm just another person, right?
Normal guy.
I'm just a normal guy. So, unfortunately, about 4 people, when they hear this episode, are going to just stop listening to my podcast. But what about the other 8,000 people? What do you tell them? Well, you don't have to. I'll put them on the spot again. Now, you know what? If you don't like it, you can just unsubscribe, not listen, and go away.
But the best thing for you to do would be subscribe, like, and enjoy listening.
See, that's a YouTube thing. They don't have to. 7-3, guys. Hey, this has been an awesome time, and yes, Michelle is right. But you know what Michelle doesn't know? I'm going to put her on the spot. So I want to thank my sponsors at HamRadioPrep.com. Use the code Eric20. Eric20 or Eric Podcast 20. Save 20% on any course you buy. Ham Radio Prep is a sponsor of mine who I believe in. Paxton hasn't done it yet. Austin started. Michelle has. you know, I want to, with the extra, ham radio prep is something I believe in. And you can do this poolside. Ham Radio Prep is a great sponsor of mine. They support my ideas, and I support them. So if you use the code EricPodcast20, you save 20%, and they support me, even if I'm poolside with my son after a couple drinks. Hey, I'm only human, man. Don't hate because I'm human. Be a part of this human podcast. And thank everybody on patreon.com/HamRadioConcepts. For everybody that donates just $1 or $2 a month, you guys, I haven't forgot about you. You do something great by just throwing me $1 or $2 a month, and I appreciate that. I hope this is worth your $1 or $2 a month. But, you know, tonight's episode was just off the cuff as I started the episode. But I appreciate everybody listening. More
Off the chain.
More videos are on the way. More podcasts are on the way. Thank you. I hope I don't regret this. And please be easy on the comments. We're having fun tonight. On a Friday night, after I worked all week and worked hard, I get to spend time with my son in the pool. 7-3. This is KJ4
YZI.
You say it.
KJ4 YZI.
This is KJ4 YZI 7-3, everybody. I love you all.